intending to choose, to say that my life is a series of choices. And by taking responsibility for my choices, I can therefore execute my choices better.
Now earlier you mentioned about choices, and you were talking about how some people might be a little bit confused in terms of what they want and what they've been taught society tells them what they should want. Is this part of this intentionality?
I think as we understand how the brain works, the brain likes to divide things, but it also ignores things. So we are completely blind to the back of our head, but the brain ignores the fact that we are blind to the back of our head.
You mean physically to the back of our head?
We are physically blind to the back of our head.
We can't see the back of our head.
Yeah. And there are stroke syndromes where someone will actually lose vision to the left side, and they're completely unaware of the fact that they've lost vision to the left side. So the brain itself becomes blind to the fact that it's blind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a wonderful metaphor to our understanding our consciousness, that we are blind to the things that we don't know. And those things can include social influences on us, corporate influences on us through marketing, our psychological upbringing from our parents, all these things that we can be blind to that so much define the world that we live in.
Now, going along with this blindness, you were earlier discussing to the group about that there's also a concept of, as you said, intentionality, but also it's almost like, I feel it's like a propaganda. We feel like we have to conform to a certain group of norms in our society, which might be a different set of norms in another society, which structures who we are, and we should be more purposeful in our own intent and what we want. I don't know if I phrased that quite correctly. How?
I think society does need to regulate our thought process. It tells us to drive on the right side of the road, or the left side of the road, whichever society we live in. It tells us how to use language. Those are all useful things. Even paying taxes so we can have a fire truck in case there's a major fire. So society certainly needs to regulate, to some extent, our consciousness. But the more we surrender our consciousness to others, the less personally intentional we can be. So if I walk into a marketing environment and I'm told this is what you need to buy, then that's what I'll buy. But if I say, oh wait, this is an option that someone has given to me, and I also have these other options, then I become intentional on what I'm doing, and I become personally responsible. And I can be, my society tells me that I should kill this group of people. And I can say, I intentionally choose not to kill because of whatever society says. My society says it's okay to consume resources and cause global warming. I can intentionally say, no, that's not something I want to participate in. So that becoming awareness of the things that society teaches us in the good ways that we define or the bad ways as we define, then we can become intentional on adopting or rejecting those things.
You were also talking about the concept of couch potato and what that means to other people and what that might mean to you. Can you explain that a little bit? Because that's a phrase a lot of us have used sometimes.
I think human beings are amazing. I think couch potatoes is a nice phrase for what a lot of people will say is someone who's kind of given up. But I believe that even in that resting state, even in that relaxed state, or those choices that a person might make to become a couch potato, because I myself am sitting on a couch right now, that's still a full human being. That's still a person who is making intentional choices. Now, they may be socialized to make certain choices. They may or may not be aware of that socialization, but they're making those choices. They're still trying to live a full life. And that's still a beautiful thing.
So if a person might feel, let's say another example, guilty about not exercising, but if they realize that that's not what they want to do, they should embrace that. That's something you used as an example earlier. Is that kind of summarized similar to the couch potato? They choose to be a couch potato?
I think there's an intentionality. With intentionality comes responsibility. So very commonly in medicine, we're telling people they need to exercise in order to live healthier, et cetera, et cetera. If the intentionality is, no, I have a choice of exercising more or being with my children, then there's a choice that one makes, and it has consequences. You exercise less, gain weight, have a heart attack at an early age, or you spend more time with your children so that when you don't have a heart attack, you have joy in your life. So long as that intentionality is clear and the more information we have around the consequences of our choices, the more free we are.
Well, I do appreciate your time with this. I think there's a lot of very interesting things that have been brought out by this. We use our entire brains and to purposely and intentionally make choices.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and that helps enrich our brain and who we are. At least that's something you've said you felt through music, is that right?
Yeah, I think music has helped me to grow as a person and to express myself in different ways. I appreciate you having me. That's great.
No, great, and I appreciate you speaking to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.